It is impossible to diminish our multidimensionality. The more you try to confine yourself, or the more you allow yourself to be confined, the more frustrated you will become, and the more energy will build up within you with a desire to be released into the creations that you are here to create. You cannot escape your multidimensionality. Peace and blessings. My name is Trinity, and on this channel I talk about my journey through African spirituality and self-improvement. Today we're going to talk about having multiple passions, right? How do we do this? How do we live with multiple passions? I'm sure that we've all heard the saying that jack of all trades is a master of none. You know, I've struggled with that concept, right? It's a concept that is very reductive to the multi-passionate creator, right? Because it diminishes the fact that when it comes to being a multi-passionate creative, it's not that we're unfocused. It's not that, we're distracted. It's not that we're not organized. It is that we have a genuine interest, a genuine passion for many things, right? And society being set up in the way that it is discourages us from that type of life. But if I am something, if I am a certain way, I can't deny myself of that. I have to learn how to live as I am, right? So it is this question of, how do I live with this genuine interest in many different things? I'd like to take a second to talk about a figure that we probably all know, right? Leonardo Da Vinci. And Leonardo Da Vinci is your quintessential Renaissance man, right? And he was praised for his knowledge in many different subject areas, right? But more specifically, he was praised for his ability to bring all of those areas together into innovation, right? But before the Renaissance, before Leonardo da Vinci, were African people, right? Particularly the group of people who really created the environment for the Renaissance to happen were the Moors, right? And the Moors were people of that migrated West Africa, right? Because life started in Africa, right? So people who would migrate over to the northwest part of Africa, travel into Europe and, around the world, right? So these people were knowledgeable about not only the ancient African sciences, astronomy and agriculture and all of those arts and crafts that were developed then, but they had to know about geography, they had to know about biology, medicine, nautical travel. So you have all these different subject matters that these people would have been well versed in, right? And what they were able to do was to bring it together and package that for who we now call Europeans to understand, right? And teach them. And I say that because I am speaking to Black multi-passionate creators, right? So it's important for us to understand that multidimensionality and this multifaceted way of interacting with life in the world is natural for us. It is natural to who we are and where we come from. And we live in a society that is not designed for the Black person to be in our fullness, right? So the great thing about being a multi-passionate creator is that we have the opportunity to trailblaze, right? We have the opportunity to create new spaces and systems that do allow for us to do this, right? So how do we leverage our multiple passion? As a multi-passionate creator, right? As a melanated, multi-passionate creator, the first thing that we need to understand in order for us to leverage this is that it is impossible to diminish our multidimensionality. The more you try to confine yourself, or the more you allow yourself to be confined, the more frustrated you will become, and the more energy will build up within you with a desire to be released into the creations that you are here to create. You cannot escape your multidimensionality. Second thing that we have to understand is that we get to be our own niche, right? In the world of content creation, of business and entrepreneurship, there's this concept of a niche, which I'm sure you probably heard of, right? But if you haven't, it's basically the topic in which you operate, right? The subject area in which you operate. But as we talked about with multiple passions, we have to become the niche. We ourselves, who we are as an individual, and our personality as we navigate through these multiple topics becomes the niche, right? We become a personal brand, right? And that's the most important thing that an artist can do, is to be themselves, right? Authenticity is the key to the game. Understand that polymathic learning, right? To be a polymath and to engage in multiple intelligence types is where genius resides, right? So polymathic learning refers to having knowledge in multiple subject areas. And then multiple intelligence is this theory that there are more types of intelligence than just, being able to read really well, do math, and do science, right? It can go into things like spatial intelligence, where, a sculptor or a painter may excel, or interpersonal intelligence, where people like therapists and things like that may excel. Then we have things like music, of course, and so on, right? So there are many different types of intelligence. But when we engage in developing knowledge in multiple areas and developing multiple types of intelligence, we unlock this concept of neuroplasticity, right? And what neuroplasticity is the effectiveness and efficiency of the neurons in your brain firing. If you are engaging in multiple different activities, multiple modalities, multiple subject areas, and apply that to whatever your creative expressions are, your brain will light up with many different nodes of information. And at the intersection of all those different things is where that innovation happens. And the more that you exercise all of those things together, or combinations of those things together, you increase your brain's ability to fire effectively, in that expanded state, right? So neuroplasticity is a very important thing when it comes to the creative process. And the fact of the matter is that the world is hungry for expansion. The world is hungry for authenticity. The world is hungry for innovative creativity. So we as multi-passionate creators have the opportunity, particularly within the Black community, facing the challenges that we do in the African diaspora, we have the opportunity to, again, trailblaze and create our own solutions. We have the opportunity to create the spaces, the systems, and the ways of existence that allow Black people to be full and whole in ourselves, because no one else can create that for us, right? So when it comes to the work that we're doing and the importance of leaning into your multidimensionality, your multiple passions, and really nurturing them, it cannot be overstated. So if you are someone who identifies as a multi-passionate creative, or you have struggled with some of the things that I've touched on, understand that it's okay, right? It's not something for you to be ashamed about, because it is very difficult to figure out the answer to this question. But leverage who you are. You are who you are. You operate and you think and perceive in the way that you do. You create the way that you do, right? And you love it. So what it is that you need to do is only figure out how to leverage this dynamic that we're in through the steps that I've, discussed. So let me know in the comments, like, what are the biggest challenges that you face as a multi-passionate person? Is it maybe, finishing projects, feeling distracted, or, overwhelmed? Or maybe it may be the resistance that you come up against, either when interacting with other people or just the systems of this society. So let me know down in the comments what your greatest challenge is as a multi-passionate person. Myself, I'm definitely still learning how to accept this fact. And, all I can do is continue to create and expand my creativity in the ways that, I'm going about it, right? And allow the journey to inform me, because it's new territory. And that's the key to this video, is that we are moving into new territory, but it is we, right? It is us who have to create the bridge there. So with that said, wishing everybody a pleasant rest of their day, wherever you may be, wishing you peace and blessings and, an abundance of creativity. If you'd like to check out my different forms of expression, take a look in the description. I have links to my music, got an ebook down there, a couple of journaling prompts. But yeah, man, stay tuned. We got more videos coming. All right. Peace.